Welcome back to the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting from the Shenandoah Esports Arena, and tonight we are continuing our group stage here in the Overwatch Rumble, and I am so hyped up to be here. I'm Josh Cunningham, and joining me to call all the action tonight is Alexander T. Kresek. And Alex, how do you feel about the games tonight? The Landslides taking on the Lightning to kick things off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling really good about tonight, especially that first match that you just mentioned, the Landslides versus Lightnings. It is going to be incredible, and this is really, we're going to see, I think, the upper echelon of this group stage here. Both the Landslides and the Lightnings had a fantastic run last week. Both of them taking a victory over the Hurricanes, the Landslides 2-0 and the Lightnings 2-1, both against the Hurricanes. So really, it's a fight. It's a battle to see which of these teams is going to make it to the top of this group stage, and I just cannot wait. It should be a fantastic first match.
Yeah, especially with both of these rosters having a member from the Summer Invitational for each team. So these rosters kind of looking to have some GOATs on the squad.
Yes.
And we will definitely see them in action here in a bit. The Landslides and the Lightning definitely looking like the favorites here going forward. But we still have not seen the Mammoths yet. They will be making their debut later this evening as they also take on the Landslides, who have a doubleheader. Last week we saw the Hurricanes with the doubleheader. This week it's going to be the Landslides put under that pressure. So we'll see if they collapse or if they come out on top with another victory like they were able to last week.
Yeah, I mean, the Landslides, I think, is almost the perfect team to have a doubleheader. Their match last week was so exciting to watch. There's so much movement, so much energy that they bring to the table. Seeing them play again, seeing them play twice is going to be awesome, especially against the Mammoths, who we haven't seen anything from. So I just can't wait to see how the Mammoths will present themselves coming into this match later tonight.
Yeah, I'm very hyped up as well, and I think that is really going to be a fun match to watch.
Absolutely.
But first, we have the Landslides taking on the Lightning. Starting things off, going to be Push on Colossio, and this is going to be a map that we know very well here from Esports Tower side of things. I mean, This map has been the predominant one that we started things off with in the Summer Invitational. We saw so many teams running the Brawl comps with Reinhardt, Junker Queen. We did see a little bit of Wrecking Ball thrown into the mix. Sometimes Hammond did get some action on the field, but that was only a couple teams, and the success was varied depending on what everyone else was really able to do and how much the Reinhardt of the other team was able to shut down Glory or the other main tanks. So
Something that I would like to note here is that for the Overwatch Rumble specifically, this one that we're going through, I will say we haven't seen Colossio yet. Last week we saw New Queen Street for the push map, and then later we saw, instead of a push map, we saw a control map to start things off. So we haven't seen Colossio at all, which, as you said, very popular in the Invitational. It felt like we saw it every time. It felt like the map that the teams wanted to play on, the map that they were comfortable on, but now we haven't seen it at all. So this might be an uncomfortable pick for both teams, and I'm really interested to see how both of these teams adapt and interact with this map as well as each other. And like you said, the hero pools, those tank choices are going to be imperative for victory here.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be seeing a Lucio probably for both support lines here, if not the Baptiste. But these players are going to be just looking to do so much work from that back line. There's so much fighting going on in the Brawl, and that's really what it is all about, the Brawl in the tight corridor. So the supports are going to have a tough job having to keep everything one in front of them, and also just having to make sure all other four players of the team are kept up tip-top shape health.
You know, I'm still not used to it, hearing the other four players.
Yeah,
you know? Overwatch 2, again, dropping that one player has really switched up that dynamic for sure. So, again, I'm still not used to it. I bet these players aren't quite used to it yet, but they've been pulling out some incredible plays. Oh my gosh, I couldn't speak for a second there.
Too incredible for his words to describe. But we're going to start seeing some incredible gameplay here in just a minute as we start things off with the Landslides and the Lightning. I am so excited to get into game number 1. Best of 3 still here in the group stage. It's going to be a best of 5 as we head further on in the competition towards the grand finals. But for now, still going to be that best of 3. So we will see which team comes out on top. Is it going to be a back and forth? Will one team be able to take the first map, then goes to the second, then will it comes down to that third map? Or are we going to see the Landslides come through with a landslide victory, or the Lightning going to bring their own storm?
Oh, man. I love the way you spin those words. And if anything, I think my money's on the Landslides. They had an amazing showing last week, a 2-0 against the Hurricanes, really coming out very dominant, especially on that push map of New Queen Street. We did talk about it a little bit. New Queen Street definitely has its own niches, a bit differences than Colosio, but just overall that dominance that the Landslides showed, especially with Alakath on that Cassidy, was really the difference maker.
Yeah, and I think Alakath is going to look to make some big plays here once again for the Landslides. This time having Shirsty on the main tank to help them. And Junker Queen and Reinhardt, as we predicted, are going to be the two tanks here for the brawl. Lightning going to be setting up in the corridors. They just wait out the spam. Going to have, I believe... No, not going to be far. I just see the grenades bouncing back through off the robot, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when we look at Shirsty here, what role can this player not do? We've seen them on DPS, we've seen them on support, and now we see them on the tank line as well. An invitational player who is just, it can do it all, apparently.
Yeah, and we're going to see them get that big swing onto the Ryan, but now going to have to get pushed back away. Sunky going to take out Alakath. That's the DPS gone for the Landslides. They're going to stay in the fight for just a minute, still wanting to take out that Reinhardt, but it could be looking bad for the Landslides if another member falls in the team fight. Still going strong. Reinhardt going down to Shirsty. There is the trade from BBQ Triplet there to find Blank as well. Things could still go the Lightning's favor, but that tank is now gone. The Landslides looking to make something happen here, but actually going to have to get pushed off of the objective. Just too much pressure.
Yeah, and something that I really like out of the Lightnings here is they are pressuring Alakath, who, against the Hurricanes, had free reign to just take pot shots from the side. But we see BBQ making sure that Alakath is either dead or pushed away from the team and has to regroup.
Yeah, I mean, the Lightning are doing a good job to take this control of points so far, but now they're going to have to contest towards the high ground. But the Landslide just going directly in on the BBQ. Shirsty going to get taken out by Music Woman. Now Blank finding Triplet. And Sunky just trying to find one. Not going to be able to. Blank getting the mine. And Alakath finding Genji mains. That's the Lightning down 3, including both support ults from the fight. Alakath finds the third. And the Landslides are going to continue to move this objective forward.
Yeah, of course, as I'm talking about Alakath getting a little snubbed out, Alakath pops off that last play, picking up what looked like 3 kills, doing a fantastic job. And again, Cassidy, if you can hit those shots, deals so much damage. Same with the Junkrat. We see Blank has that ultimate available. Same with BBQ. Both teams have to be careful for this junk tire that could let rip at any point, except now, because Blank is going to get that kill. First blood. Yeah,
Blank going to open up the fight. Alakath and Blank continuing it, each finding another player of their own. That junk tire going to take Rat off the high ground. Now Alakath popping the high noon, going to be finding Music Woman. Genji mains falling to Blank's mine. And the Landslides are moving forward. A very simple take around the corner, just slowly picking off the entirety of the Lightning, getting the team kill, and now moving up onto the stairs.
Yeah, something we were talking a lot about last week was a lot of these teams will sometimes hold on to their ultimates, feeling like they need a full 5 stack of ultimates before they can do anything. But the Landslides making great use of their ultimates, as we see Junker Queen with the Rampage hitting 3 members of the Lightning. They're all anti-healed, and they're going to take down Music Woman. BBQ is going to get a kill on the way out. But again, another victory for the Landslides. As I was saying, the Landslides making use of their ultimates. They're not holding back. They're timing them perfectly and making sure that they're using them before the Lightning even has a chance to respond.
Yeah, the Lightning do respond, though, after all the ultimates are gone and able to wipe through the Landslides on the retake. Now taking control of the bot after they are pushed just underneath their own high ground. The Lightning moving back towards the landslide side. The landslide side. And the Landslides are going to be regrouping. Alakath getting set up for a potential flank. But BBQ with the tire going to be looking to open things up, either take out the DPS or the support. There's going to be one looking onto Alakath. Blank can actually get taken out by Music Woman, though, just pushed forward. Toxic Kill going to find that tank. Now we're going to see Sunky pop the Blade going to look for anybody that they can, able to find Alakath, and that's not good for the Landslides, losing the DPS. Control able to make something happen, turn that around, but Shirsty falls, and that's going to do it for the Landslides push, the Lightning winning the team fight.
Yeah, it's something that I'd really like to see. Sunky knowing that they're going to switch off the Genji, using that ultimate, getting as much out of that ultimate as possible. We saw Music Woman a little overcommit in that fight, dying on the way out, but Sunky making sure that the tank death was worth it and that they could still keep control of this point. BBQ with a double kill on the tire. I was waiting for it, but is going to get traded out by Blank, who again has a tire as well to use, but no one around is going to hit. Oh my gosh, Genji Main actually going to take the death there. Music Women going to survive only for a second as Shirsty's going to take it, and Triplet trading out Blank in the end. Triplet, a player that we hadn't talked about, again, another one of these invitational players who came back to play and has just made such an impact for their team.
Yeah, Triplet on the Lucio, just doing so much work. Alakath, we're going to find Alakath on Sunky, though, with the high noon ready as the Landslides continue to push the bot over to the Lightning side of the map. Still going to have to recontest towards that high ground, but the Lightning look to fight in the corridor once again. They want the early fight, get as many before they're on that high ground as possible. And Music Woman has Earth Shatter there. It's going to get ripped. Not going to find anybody yet. Beat going to come out from the Lightning after Genji Mains gets picked. And now the Landslides going to be in a slightly rough position here as Shirsty falls to Sunky. The Lightning doing a great job setting up here. Blank is going to find Music Woman. This is a chance to turn the fight around for the Landslides, though. Now that that tank's gone, Blank's going to find the second one on a BBQ. Sunky found Alakath, and it's going to be all down to Sunky on this point here. Just going to be getting bullied by these players from the Landslides on the objective. And still going to be alive somehow. Triplet eventually going to find Blank. Blank going to take out Genji Man's control, finally taking Sunky off of the point. But that was going to be a rough one, but BBQ finally finding Toxic Kill. And man, this fight is just going so back and forth still. Just two members from each team back on the point. But now we see a Roadhog from the Lightning jumping forward. Beat ready for the Landslides, though. So they can survive whatever this Hog has ready for them. But now the Lightning have control of the objective, and they're moving fast.
Yeah, a Hog is definitely not something that we see often, but again, a lot of these players are newer to the Rumble scene, and sometimes they just want to stick with their comfort picks. I mean, I know I love Hog indeed, but oh my gosh, Lightning turning around and keeping this advantage. Triplet getting another kill, Music Woman also getting a kill as well. They said, hey, we have a Hog. It's okay if one of our DPS is down. We can just keep pushing, keep dealing that damage.
Yeah, a Music Woman going to be able to find Shirsty, but Blank has the tire, going to look to put it on the point, going to find three, and is now moving back with the objective for the Landslides. Beat ready is going to be Control, and that was a huge tire for the Landslides, able to completely just not have to contest from the high ground at all, not build any charge over to the Lightning, just get the tire in, rip three players off of the field, and then keep moving with the objective. Sunky, though, going to have this overclock ready once the Landslides move in.
Yeah, something also really great about that Landslides play is they were able to pick up 3 players and even pick up the tank after everything was said and done, just making it even harder for the Lightning to come back immediately. But oh my gosh, Sunky dealing so much damage, almost finishing off Control, who just barely gets away with their life.
Still going to have that overclock. Didn't need to use any ultimates from Lightning. Going to pop it now. Looking at all 3 members of the Landslides backline, including one of those DPSs. They're going to have that whole Hog pop as well. And the Lightning just moving back underneath the bridge here. Only using 2 ultimates. Beat ready from their side. Going to take out Genji Mains and BBQ early before the team fight even starts. Landslide's going to have Coalescence, but now that Beat's gone, that's not good for the team fight. In Coalescence gone as well. Triplet able to take out Toxic Kill. A slight stagger from the other 2 just coming back from spawn.
Yeah, Blank now in this building up top, has the angles, trying to get a little peek onto what the Lightnings are doing, making some callouts for the team while they wait for everyone else. Alakath going to pick up 1, and Shirsty just taking this tank fight, dealing so much damage, is going to get trapped, but again, the healing is insane. But BBQ with the point blank tire going to pick up 2.
And those tires keep turning the tide of battle back and forth. Alakath looking to do something with this high noon for the Landslides now as Lightning continue to push this objective. 2 people on it, and they are coming around the corner. Hog first. Sunky going to be looking to do some major damage for the Lightning once they're back in the fight. Gonna be getting a big damage onto onto Shirsty to open things up, but Alcath there to get the frag onto Music Woman. High Noon ready for the landslide, still not using it yet.
Yeah, the hook is such a fantastic use of displacement, but if your team isn't ready for it, if they're not around, you really can't capitalize on that. Instead, you'll get into a situation where you're left out to dry. But Lightning isn't done yet. BBQ, again, that difference maker, doing so much damage. We're going to see Genjimin with the Coalescence, again, putting out so much damage. Picks up 2, looking for the 3. Actually, just looking to heal up the rest of the team to keep them all alive. Genjimin's going in, as their name would suggest.
Ooh, but Alakath there with the High Noon finally coming out to find the support line. BBQ with the Hog able to take out Alakath. Shirsty finding Sunky. This is still back and forth, but it looks like the Landslides have control of the point at the moment. We're in overtime now. So far, the Lightning have the advantage. The Landslides cannot leave this objective.
Yeah, they have Lightning has the advantage practically by a mile here. If we look at that map, they have a long way to go. They have to keep full control of this. The Lightning just need to get the Landslides off the point, and they win. So Landslides got to be hugging this robot. They cannot allow a C9 here. And yeah, you just pointed out to me, Music Woman does have Whole Hog, an easy way to push the team off.
Yeah, so we'll see if they're able to just use the physics to move all the players literally off the point for long enough to stall out that overtime. But there's going to be the first frag onto Alakath to open things up for the Lightning. The Whole Hog comes out. Not going to actually be finding that many players. Still going to have 2 members of the Landslides on the point. Music Woman goes down to Shirsty, and now the Landslides are moving forward. Once again, Control able to find Barbecue. BBQ able to take out Shirsty, though, with the tire after getting fragged themselves, and now we're seeing Sunky pick up toxic kills and Control for the side of Lightning. This could turn things around. Genjiman's able to find Blank, and that was enough to push the Landslides off of the robot and control the objective for the Lightning to eventually get the win after controlling so much space for so long in the landslide spawn.
And of course, the play of the game has to go to one of these Junkrats. We saw Blank and BBQ being so influential with their ultimate usage. This, I believe, is the triple kill. Yes, it is. Ooh. Boom, right there.
Big
Got
play.
DPS and both supports, and then eventually they're going to pick up the tank as well. Again, so much damage, so much utility out of these Junkrat ults. Something that I like about Blank is that Blank used it practically every time that they had a full ultimate charge. At first, we saw BBQ being a little more conservative with them, but at the end, they just started letting it rip, and that's really when the tide started changing for Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, the junk tires were definitely the big ultimate that was turning so many fights, as well as the anti-heal from Shirsty was putting the Landslides in a really good position, but not a good enough position. Music Woman switching over to the Hog, I think, was just such an unexpected pick, and obviously able to take Alakath out from that last fight so early with the amount of damage you could do with the hook combo. I mean, it's just crazy. So what's an insane pick coming out from Music Woman that could have won them the game if Alakath might have popped off there. I'm not quite sure had that hook not been there for the side of the Lightning. So, I mean, hey, the Lightning doing a great job to win out the first map. We're going to see them on the next map here in just a second. It's going to be Hybrid, and I believe we're going to be heading over to Hollywood, and that is going to be very, very fun, especially on Overwatch 2. I think this is the first time I'm going to be seeing it, so it's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the maps that we have not seen a lot of at all. Hollywood kind of, it seems like it's been swept under the rug a little bit with Hybrid. We see a lot of Kings Row, but Kings Row, Numbani, we just don't really see any Hollywood anymore. So yeah, I think this is also going to be my first time seeing it in Overwatch 2. So I'm excited. I don't really know if the teams have prepared for this. Maybe the Landslides have a secret Hollywood meta that they've been cooking up and they're trying to catch the Lightnings off guard. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm really unsure of what to expect as we move into this unknown territory with 5v5 here on Hollywood. I think the tank choice is going to be really interesting. Are they going to go for Winston to contest those high grounds very easily? Yep. Are we going to see them try to brawl on point with Junker Queen or Reinhardt? Are they going to go with the ball comp to just get as much movement as possible around that first point? You know, there's so many questions right now that I have for these team comp picks. I'm really, really hyped up to get into them.
Yeah, and something that we saw last map that I think both teams could work on is the length of the fights. Again, we would see a couple picks come out early on, And then the fight would just last forever, leading to these very drawn-out, messy fights where we still see players coming in from nowhere and joining the fight to just elongate it even more. So I think if both teams can choose their targets correctly, take down the supports, take down who they need to, and end these fights quicker, it'll just be a better time for everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah, maybe focusing on the tank a little bit too much, letting them get too much value out of that position, and the supports just, charging their ult so much. We saw almost every team fight, the defense ultimates ready for almost both sides. So a lot of damage is happening in these games. It's really coming down to just how fast these teams are able to end the team fight as a whole.
Yeah. Absolutely. And here we go. Hollywood, a map. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it has been a minute since we've seen Hollywood. But before that, we of course got to hit our socials. Josh, take us away.
Yeah, we have, of course, our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow us there at you can follow Esports Tower there at Esports Tower, and also here on Twitch, that's going to be Esports Tower. And if you are more interested in, if you are interested in Shenandoah University Esports, you can check us out at Shenyu Esports or on YouTube and Twitch at Shenandoah Esports. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Shenyu Esports, Twitch, and YouTube going to be Shenandoah
Esports. Yep.
But shout out our friends over at Esports Tower for putting this whole thing together and doing such an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean, none of this would be possible without Esports Tower, and they've been doing a fantastic job. We had the Invitational, we've had the Rumbles, and now we're here with another Rumble and more fantastic Overwatch gameplay to just watch it and be amazed at.
Yeah, and I'm very excited as we head into map number 2, Hollywood.
Yeah, and again, we have the Landslides versus the Lightnings. Not exactly how I thought this would go. I really thought the Landslides would show up as the better team, especially how dominant they were on that new Queen Street, that push map against the Hurricanes. But the Lightning saying, hey, we're still here. We took down the Hurricanes as well. Maybe not quite as smoothly, but we're definitely here to play. And interestingly enough, as these players are choosing their comps, we see Shirsty hovering over the Sigma, a tank that we hadn't even really mentioned at all.
Yeah, Sigma, we've seen them a couple times, notably on Paraíso, which is another hybrid map. So I think that's just going to be an Overwatch 2 thing that Sigma is going to be good for these hybrid escort maps, especially with how these high grounds work. They're pretty close. They're not super high up like Dorado, where you really have to contest with a Winston to open things up, or a Diva. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to get up onto the high ground fast enough. So we see it from both sides, though, with the Sigma, so there's going to be a lot of potential value here, especially for the flyer denial that we see from being able to put that shield out into space, whereas Reinhardt, you're just kind of have it right in front of you. So going to be able to deny that echo at least a little bit with the Sigma shield.
Yeah, something also really interesting as we see BBQ getting first blood onto Blank, but the versatility from all of the players that we've seen here. We just saw Music Woman on that tank role, now switching over to the Hanzo and letting Sunky take up that tank. An interesting choice, especially because I thought Sunky did an incredible job on the tank, but Music Woman showing that she is not here to play around, taking out Alakath with a nice headshot.
Yeah, now we're going to see the 1v1 of Blank and Music Woman going to intervene, though, after Blank finds Triplet, able to get another sniper shot. And, man, just going to do so much work with that Hanzo picking off 2 members of the Landslides already. Not going to be enough to delay the push to the high ground, though the Landslides do have control of it. The Lightning now down on the point. Music Woman still finding picks, though, onto the back line. That's control getting picked. Blank finally able to take them out from the high ground. Shirsty finding BBQ, and this is not looking good for the Lightning. Gave too much time to Landslides up there without a recontest from the low ground. And Baptiste is going to fall a bit early. This could change things, but Genji Mains falls as well, and so does Triplet. That's not good for the Lightning. Both supports gone. Shirsty fell to Sunky. But, man, this is so back and forth. Sunky eventually taken out by Alakath, and now the Landslides do have control of the point, especially if they're able to keep Music Woman off.
And Music Woman getting very, very low, just able to get to the health pack. We got 1 tick on the point for the Landslides, trying to make it 2. Not much that the Lightning can do. They just need to regroup. They're going to give up this point as they should. Regroup, let everyone take a step back, regain that mental, and prepare for that push.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were staggered too much from the initial fight where they didn't have enough time to build for a solid recontest at the second tick mark, unfortunately. But the Landslides doing a great job sitting on the high ground, biding their time on the first push, waiting for the circumstances to be in their favor, and then executing very well onto the objective and taking control of the payload. Now 4 minutes on the clock for the Landslides here to push. Sunky able to find that eye field early on in the fight, now having lift available for the Lightning. Going to use it early, not going to be able to pick up anybody, unfortunately. Going to have that lift on the Landslide side as well way more ultimates with that Transcendence, and lift going to come out, able to find Sunky. Not a lot of damage, and immediately healed up by the support line of the Lightning, who are doing such a great job back there.
Yeah, and something that I do want to mention, because we keep seeing kill after kill, Music Woman doing a incredible job on the Hanzo, just picking up more and more. Blank got the blade out. We're going to see 2 kills, 3 kills out. BBQ is going to take it down, but not before Alakath is also able to shut down BBQ. And now Landslides in full swing, just pushing. We're going to see the Widowmaker come out. Not going to find that jump shot, though.
Yeah, and the Landslides didn't even really commit many ultimates, only putting forward the lift and the blade. That's a really good use of the ult economy. Genji Mans did manage to hold on to the Nano throughout the fight. Alakath find Music Woman very early, though, here as we head closer and closer to Checkpoint 2's doors. And the the Lightning gonna have to move very quickly to get back onto the point here. And they're gonna look to contest the high ground first. Junk Tire ready for BBQ here, but he's not going to be able to pop it in time as Alakath gets the pick. Triplet going to find control, though. Alakath fighting Music Woman, and now the fight is on the point off the high ground. Toxic ready with the window, not going to need to use it as Blank and Alakath, the DPS, doing so much work for the Landslides here, finding all the frags. All that's left is Sunky, and they're just going to have to give up the objective, unfortunately.
Yeah, Sunky going to get taken down by the Bob. Nowhere to go. Too many players around. Landslides, a great job and great ultimate usage, because we see here they still have 3 ultimates in the bank versus the Lightning that really just have 1 to play with. Granted, it is Tire, so it can do a lot. But overall, Landslides have that ultimate advantage, especially as well as just momentum here. They've been pushing ever since they got the payload. They have not slowed down.
Yeah, they're just able to take this space so well. The Lightning not able to set up their defense quite quick enough to really deny it. Alakath finding Music Woman very early. That Widow going to be already gone. Triplet able to trade out Toxic Kill, and that's a big pick for the Lightning. But Landslides now taking control of the high ground, trying to pressure out this Zenyatta. Is going to be the Genji, able to push him down onto the point. That's not where you want to be, especially if you're Zen. The rest of Landslides are there, still going to somehow be able to stay alive. Triplet getting out of the fight, almost with the ultimate as well. Lift coming out from the side of Landslides, not going to find the value that they want. BBQ still ready with this Tire. I'm hoping they put him behind the window, but unfortunately not going to be finding that opportunity. Blank able to find the opportunity, though, instead taking BBQ and Music Woman down with the dash into the Shurikens. And now Triplet there finding Blank eventually, but Shursty getting the trade. And the Lightning getting in a tough spot here as this tank's just finding everybody in the corner on the point. And there's another one as BBQ Tire goes down, and Music Woman as well. Shursty absolutely on fire. Transcendence coming out for the side of the Lightning, but it's not going to be enough as Shursty just keeps doing big damage. Blank coming in with the blade onto the point. The Landslides with the Transcendence just to end things off, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow, Shursty really popping off at the end there. Just kill after kill after kill. And it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there, letting Triplet get away from 0 health after being knocked down. And then we saw the Grav come out, just the Flux come out a little bit late, not really finding any value. But after that, it seemed like the Landslides just had a little bit of a mental switch, realized that they need to stick together, they need to push together, follow their tank, and then after that, the rest is history as Shursty went on a rampage.
Yeah, able to find the great position just off the spawn door near that staircase behind the van, and no one was expecting them to be there, and just able to find so much value, so many frags for the Landslide. Shursty doing an insane play there on the point in the end, and the support line doing an insane job still keeping them alive once again.
Yeah, again, something that both teams need to look out for is this positioning. We saw Toxic kill early for the Landslides going down as Baptiste running alone onto that point. Something really that you need to keep aware of. Make sure that your positioning, your map awareness is up to par, because you don't want to get caught out like that. Something like that could really make the difference for a game. But again, wow, this series definitely turning up to be a barn burner. These teams are going at it. And again, we're going to see Music Woman staying on that DPS role, Sunky on the tank role. But Music Woman, instead of picking up a sniper, is going to pick up the Genji.
Yeah, and with that, Genji going to be finding the trap early. Going to look to contest the high grounds quite a lot with the amount of mobility that this character has, especially in Overwatch 2 with that new passive. For all the DPS characters, so much speed on this Genji. They're just able to move so quick. Oh, okay. I thought that they deflected the trap for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, did they just deflect the trap? We're actually having a pause, so we get to talk about that. I guess you can't deflect trap in Overwatch 2. We now know that. But that would have been absolutely insane if we just seen the Genji trap the Junkrat. I was really hoping when I saw it happen that we were just about to see like, but unfortunately that's not how Overwatch 2 works. If it was a mine, I also don't know how that works. Does Junkrat just like hard counter Genji like that? Can Genji like only deflect the...
Maybe. It's something that we'll need to dive into a little bit more, delve into a little bit. Again, though, we've seen so many Junkrats. Maybe that's why, because Junkrat's just a hard counter to Genji, as we've seen here. Can't reflect the trap, and then we saw... basically, the Genji was just trapped in the room, nowhere to go, instantly taken out by the Junkrat.
Yeah, that movement speed not going to be enough. Just the amount of frag grenades going off. They are in close corridors. We're going to be able to head back in the game here in just a moment after the momentary applause. After the pause. But, yeah, I mean... just an insane character, Junkrat overall. We've seen them get so much value here. Tonight alone, just on Colosseo, and still here even on Hollywood, some big junk tires coming out from both teams, honestly. BBQ and Blank, I believe, was the other one playing Junkrat in the last map, just doing an insane job on the character, completely turning the momentum back and forth. And I'm really excited to get into more Junkrat gameplay as we come back from the pause. And it's going to be BBQ and Blank switching back over to Junkrat now after they just found Music Woman, or right before they just found Music Woman there. Alakath going to be on the high ground with that Mercy Pocket. And that Mercy Pocket's going to do a lot, I think, for this team, especially on Alakath, who's able to just one-shot BBQ with the headshot.
Yeah, you were right. You immediately called it. You said,
there's the second.
This Pocket's going to do a lot, and it has. Alakath hitting these shots, just looking for heads to take off. Again, Alakath in this position and has the support too. It's got both supports up there, has the tank up there. Alakath just sitting pretty on this high ground. And right now, it doesn't look like Lightning has a way to knock them off this point. And Music Woman switching over off the Genji to the Echo, allowing just a little bit more mobility, a little more movement, more angles to take here, getting some poke in. But again, the Lightning just trapped down here, not able to make this move to the high ground. And we're going to see the lamp dropped for the side of Landslides, trying to keep Shursty alive, which they do. But again, can't do anything about this high ground.
Yeah, I mean, just going to be doing so much. Blank, though, ready with the tire, and this could just continue to allow the Landslides to have this insane hold here on the choke. But now, the Sunky pushing through, able to find two, and the Blank coming very low to the Echo. The Landslides going to be pushed back here by the Lightning, just getting so much value that Echo able to find Blank. Sunky taking out Toxic, kills, having their own insane tank moment with the Sigma here on point, finding Shursty as well. And what an insane way to counter Shursty's play from the end of the game. They're taking point number one very handily. 1 minute and 42 left on the clock. We'll see. The Landslides, I don't think, are going to be able to get the touch here as a team for the recontest. Just going to decide to set up on the high ground. Now back up to 4 minutes for them as well. A little bit less time than the Landslides, who are just a bit quicker on the initial take, but we'll see if that continues to be the case for the pace of the rest of the game.
Yeah, and again, talking about the damage that Sigma does, especially when you've got that nano, you can just walk on a point, deal damage, and Window's going to come out here. making sure that Alacath could just deal damage with these shots. Also, Lamp is going to come down so that Alacath does not need to worry about their health. Blank is going to take out Music Woman. A difficult battle, the Junk versus the Echo. Not something we see Junk winning a whole lot, but Blank making it work, shutting down Music Woman and Alacath again, taking out the other DPS. So much damage with that pocket, so much damage with that window. Alacath on a tear this map.
Yeah, as well as having that Mercy with the ultimate ready, just going to be able to get so much value. Mercy able to keep themselves alive as well with that ultimate. Oh, okay. I forgot that all the landslides red. I was like, was that a Junkrat behind?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's their teammate.
Yeah, it's just Blank.
I got scared. But the sleep on the Alacath could open things up for the Lightning, who are now moving towards the high ground. They do have BBQ ready with the tire. He's going to mine up, and ooh, a big lift, but Blank going to counter it with their tire to find the entire support line of the Lightning, who are now going to be forced back as that DPS falls. Once again, the landslides holding on to the high ground. Sunky falling to Alacath, and oh my gosh, BBQ having to use the movement to get away, still having that tire, but man, just barely keeping their life.
Yeah, you know, when we saw the Lightnings, when we saw Sunky get that fantastic flux, I thought we were going to see the Junkrat ult as well. But again, the rest of Landslides fell down because Blank used the ultimate first, that tire first, and just didn't give BBQ any chance to use tire after that, because once you realize that your team is dead, there's no use to waste your ultimate. You can keep it for the next fight. Alacath doing damage hitting these shots.
Yeah, and finding so much value with the Ashe. The area denial from both Bob and the Dynamite is crazy, and she's just able to shut down these corridors, and now that their DPS pocket with the Mercy is just going to be absolutely crazy. But Music Woman jumping in now from the Echo, going to be finding both the Mercy and the Ashe, and BBQ there finding Shirsty, going to be good for the Lightning. Toxic kill falling as well. Blank was able to take out the supports, but it's not going to be enough. The Landslides going to eventually fall after Music Woman was able to put on an insane ultimate with the Echo.
Yeah, and then instantly gets taken out by Alacath walking towards that window. The good thing that the Landslides had for them is that they were holding such a up front position on this checkpoint that they will have enough time to come back and recontest. BBQ again using this beautiful movement to get out just barely with their life, and Control on that Mercy flying between targets, but making sure, more importantly, that Alacath is being pocketed so that they can just hit shots. BBQ letting the tire rip and going to be taking out Blank.
And Mercy going to have so much peel between these high grounds for the other support as well. Going to allow Toxic Kill to kind of just jump around wherever they want. Unfortunately, though, going to be found by Triplet. Triplet also finding Alacath, and that's the duo that's really been carrying this game so far for the Landslides on the defense. They've just been shutting down the fight so early, but not early enough, as Music Woman has finally found their rhythm and a way to break it up. And the Echo is just doing an insane job as we head towards the third and final checkpoint as the Lightning try to equalize the score.
Yes, Ed, wow, the Lightning not slowing down at all, still pushing in and just getting kill after kill. Sunky on that Sigma, just pushing, dealing damage, making sure that the Landslides don't have any time to think or reconvene. Although I will say, while we're looking at the Lightning here, a player that we haven't talked enough about is Triplet, this invitational player who has been crazy. One of the only support players that I see so much out of, but Blank gonna find 2 kills, getting Genji mains and Music Woman, and Lightnings are just gonna have to back off here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shirsty is going to be able, well, fortunately for the Landslide, Shirsty's going to be able to take out Triplet. Sunky going to be pressured back, is going to have the lift for the recontest. The Landslide's going to have both support ults, though, unfortunately not going to be incredibly defensive ones. It's not going to matter, though, as Alacath able to find Music Woman early, and that is the DPS already gone. BBQ trading off Toxic Kills right after that window goes down, and Blank finds BBQ. Control getting the res, but here comes the lift from the Lightning. Genji mains finds Alacath through it, and Blank able to get the trade onto Triplet, but Music Woman now in the backline looking at that Baptiste.
Ooh, Toxic Kills just barely getting away with their life, and wow, the tables are turned as Control's going to get killed onto Music Woman. BBQ is going to finally find Toxic Kill, but the push is not over. The fight is still going on, and this is what we were talking about before, these long fights. Control's going to get taken down by Sunky, but the rest of the Landslides are coming up. They will have the advantage in the ultimate department as well as the positioning department now.
Yeah, and Control with the Battle Mercy actually going to get so much value that they decide to switch over to Moira just so they can get a little bit more damage out in these fights. Lift comes out from Shirsty here in overtime, just trying to take everybody off the point, but there's the Transcendence from the Lightning side. Music Woman ready with the Cologne as well. Going to be a very hard contest here for the Lightning. They have no ultimates to their name unless Blank can build this tire, able to take out the Clone very early after finding Triplet, 91%, but going to get taken down. Shirsty now able to find Music Woman, but BBQ with the tire of their own finds the backline of the Landslides. This could open up the attack for the Lightning, who just need to take Shirsty out on point. It's coming down to this. Sunky able to find the Sigma. Now Blank barely moving in. Whoa, 95%. This could be huge if they get to the touch, but I don't think they're going to be able to in time. The Lightning pushing forward just barely fast enough before the tires ripped off.
And that is a double complete for the map, both the Lightnings and the Landscapes. Landslides, not landscapes. Both the Lightning and the Landslides have completed the map, so we are going to be going to this overtime. At the end of the day, though, the Landslides definitely have more time to their name. They were able to complete it faster, so they will have a little bit of an advantage. But, wow, this is a slugfest. Both these teams going at it completely, just back and forth, and I think we see a lot of that because of the similarities for their DPS lines, both of them running a solo Junkrat and then either that sniper or a character that has a lot of mobility like the Genji or like the Echo.
Yeah, 100%. That mobility for the Lightning, allowing them to just contest those high grounds, really allowed them to push the solid hold the Landslides had on the second point high ground. Without that Echo Clone from play from Magic Woman, I just don't see how the Lightning would have continued past this choke. But they were able to do it all the way here into an overtime, running it back now. The Landslides going to be on the attack with 2 minutes to contest the first point. I really think it's only going to come down to the first point here. The Lightning are going to have a very strong hold here, especially if they want any chance at beating the Landslides here. Just have so much more time banked.
Yeah, and again, something to note because, wow, it feels like this match could go on forever. This is a best of 3, so if the Lightnings are able to hold out here, they will take the series, and wow, that would be such a shame because I just want to see more of these teams play. They're so back and forth. Control going to get taken out instantaneously, and that's what you want if you are the Lightnings. You want to make sure that you can stall for time. Genji Main's going to revive Music Woman, who gets taken down by Blank on that Hanzo.
And now we're seeing the Lightning flip over the Mercy Ashe combo. This time the Landslide's not going to have it of their own. Instead of opting for the Zenyatta to try and get as much damage as possible value from that Discord Orb, as well as that Heal Orb, just going to be able to help out a lot of people far away, as well as allow more damage for the side of Control, who did have to use the Battle Mercy to change the fight once there. But the Landslides looking really good here on the push there, as they are able to find 3, taking out both the supports from the Lightning, as well as Sunky falling to Shirsty. And now this is good for the Landslides, who are going to take point number 1, and actually that's all they needed to win the game. I forgot it does not on hybrid go back over if there's no time banked for one team for it. It's not like Escort where you just stay on the payload as long as you can, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's only for that first tick, which is just very unfortunate for the Lightning not having that second opportunity due to the game mode, but you know, I mean, Music Woman doing a great job for the Lightning, almost bringing them back into the game multiple times. And woo,
what a shot!
That was
oh
nice.
My gosh,
that was so nice.
Was so nice.
That was crazy. But Music Woman just doing a great job from the DPS line for the side of the Lightning. Unfortunately, the Landslides just gonna have that bit more of a successful game, just with using the Ashe Mercy combo first on their first defense, just able to get so much value. That one-shot headshot onto the squishy targets is so broken, it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's having a Widowmaker, but they can shoot so much faster.
Yeah, they can just go.
All you have to do is sacrifice one of your support players, but it looks like Control was having a great time doing it, even pulling out the Battle Mercy at times, getting involved themselves. So, a very active role and player from Control there on that Mercy, just really changing the game with that pick.
Yeah, and I'm a bit surprised at how well that Mercy worked out because we haven't really seen a lot of Mercy played in Overwatch 2. It's definitely a comfort pick from Overwatch 1, but in this case, comfort pick does beat out meta picks at the end of the day. If you're more comfortable, if you can do more with that character, then I don't think it matters quite as much that it's not the most relevant meta pick at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I also think the sight lines that are on Hollywood just really lend itself to the duo comp from the Ashe and Mercy so well. That damage was just undeniable, which is why we also see them running the Baptiste for the window, just able to use it whenever they want, just to get as much damage out as possible. And that's really what the Landslides did a good job of focusing, just building up as much damage as possible, not trying to deny as much, just doing so much. And we're going to get the chance to see them do a lot more damage as we head into map number 3, and that's going to be our escort map for Dorado. And man, we're probably going to see some Winstons back out, and maybe a Mercy just going to have so much appeal for especially that first area before the non-checkpoint checkpoint underneath that weird bridge.
Yeah. I completely understand that kind of choke point that we see a lot of teams hold up on. Yeah, something important to note about Dorado is last week we did see the Lightnings playing on Dorado and winning out Dorado against the Hurricanes. So this is a map that we've seen them on before, a map that they're comfortable on, and something that we haven't seen the Landslides on. So this might be that little bit of an advantage that the Lightning need in order to close out the series here, because these teams have just been so back and forth. They've been going back and forth with just about everything that they do, that even a little bit of an advantage, a little bit more of a comfort on the map might be all that they need in order to close the deal, seal the deal here.
And they are definitely going to be looking to do it. But now that the Landslides are back in the game, they're going to look to seal the deal as well. The Lightning and the Landslides both 1-1 here to start things off tonight. And man, it has been back and forth. Every team fight, it seems, really coming down to great ultimate timing, as well as just one player having a great play at the right time, the perfect time, to really allow their team to just get so much later success. So, and we've just been seeing that fight after fight again. So I'm really excited to see more plays like that and see what these teams are able to do on Dorado as we head into map number 3.
Oh my goodness, yes, I cannot wait to see more of these Alakath v Music Woman sniper battles, or Blank v BBQ Junkrat battles. It's been incredible.
Epic
or the
Junkrat battles of history.
Yeah, basically, honestly. And earlier you said Magic Woman, and I was like, yes, Music Woman is indeed Magic Woman. She has been lights out, playing incredible this evening.
Just doing a great job. Now we're going to see them back on the DPS, this time with the Sim. We'll see if they decide to switch off or if they're just moving the support line for the attacker side up onto the high grounds early. That's typically what we see from these teams, not only in this competition, but at like all levels of competition at this point. Everyone knows that you use the Symmetra out of spawn just to get your supports up onto the high ground. You just have such an advantage if they're up there. They're not going to be, it's going to be much harder to dive onto them, and, the Lightning are going to be able to get so much more value, especially at the start with that Symmetra. I'm really interested to see who they switch on to, though, after that TP goes down.
Yeah, speaking of switching, though, we do see on side of Landslides, they have traded out one of their support players for Monclover. If I remember correctly, they played on the Hurricanes last week, so filling in for that support spot. Interested to see how this will turn out, but BBQ getting first blood almost instantaneously on Blank.
Oh, and onto the second DPS with Alakath. That's the second blood, and the Lightning are moving very quickly onto the high ground, not even worrying about the point just yet, only leaving Sigma to move it along, and excuse me, Sunky is going to have no time doing that as Triplet finds control, and the Lightning are very confident as they continue to just push on this high ground here, already getting that payload halfway towards that first checkpoint.
Yeah, and they got it past that choke point that you were talking about at the beginning of the map here. typically one of the more difficult spots, but I guess it doesn't matter if you have BBQ on that upper flank. You just can't stop this Junkrat.
Yeah, these Junkrats are absolutely popping off every single game that we see them in.
Yes.
And Music Woman going to actually be holding an interesting position with the Mudomaker directly on the point. Unfortunately, Shirsty going to punish that positioning with the rock and going to take him out. Now, Blank looking to seize this opportunity, just get out as much spam as possible as the Landslides recontest and recontrol the point. Now looking at BBQ as 1 HP over in the side room. Are they going to be able to stay alive?
I don't think so, but they are going to be able to heal up just a little bit. They know that BBQ is trapped in there, but they don't want to expend too much resources to go chase after them because a Junkrat in a very enclosed space is not a good place to be.
Yeah, and it looks like BBQ was able to survive there for so long, and they're still over there, not able to get pressured out by the Landslides. That's a huge positioning advantage. Now Music Woman able to take out Monclover as well. Triplet ready with the Transcendence for the Lightning. Going to look to not get picked here a lot. Ooh, coming very low HP. Almost getting taken down, but Alicast able to find BBQ for the Landslides. We're seeing the Lightning pop Transcendence, who really want to get it on this push. Lift coming down, though. Not going to have that defensive old Alicast able to take out Genji Maze, and now the only support is left is Triplet trying their best with that orb to keep the players alive. Not going to be enough healing, but Music Woman is still finding the picks from behind somewhere. Ooh, Blank getting the height. Not going to be enough to actually see anybody, and Music Woman continues to pop off. Alicast finally shutting them down, but Lightning now coming back into this with some ultimates on the ready. Triplet, going to be able to take out Blank. Monclover ready with that Transcendence. Ooh, Alicast in the 1v1.
Oh.
Going to lose it, though, as Genji Mans gets involved. BBQ coming very low, but having that honor there. Going to let the Lightning not only take control of the point, but continue to move forward.
Yeah, I am very impressed by that fight from the Lightning. It looked like they'd lost it in the beginning, losing several players, but they were able, again, to elongate these fights, pull them, drag them out, if you will, in order to allow players like Music Woman to get back into the fight, take shots from afar, and just trust that your DPS will click heads, which, when you're looking at Music Woman, they will definitely click heads.
They will, and Barbecue will hit those mines, taking out
Yes.
Blank, and now ready with the tire, but going to get pressured out by Alicast, and Alicast can come very low HP back over to the support line. Now BBQ able to take out control, though, with the trap. That's not going to be very good. Alicast finding Triplet to trade things back and forth, but the Lightning continue to move the payload here. And that high ground is not actually going to be that useful for the Landslides. They're not really contesting the point with it. Sunky just able to get so much distance, and now contesting Shirsty by themselves. Finally, the supports come through for the Landslides, but so are the rest of the Lightning. Here comes the lift. And now Sunky doing big damage, able to find Shirsty. That ultimate going to pop off, but now Blue looking very, very bad right now as the red team is just rolling through them. The Lightning having a great time. Now Sunky on the high ground, completely changing this point over. The Lightning looking so clean on that push. I don't know what the Landslides were thinking, just not really contesting from the height there.
Yeah, it's something I really want to talk about right now is the fact that we saw Monclover using that Transcendence kind of in a panic way after the Flux went out. Speaking of ultimates, we're going to see Alicast popping that Soldier 76 ultimate. We also saw Triplet use the Transcendence a little bit earlier, and now it is time for the Landslides to take some of that positioning back, some of that movement. They will be running down Sunky, who cannot escape all three players. Shirsty finding Triplet in the backline as well. This is an opportunity for Landslides to start setting themselves up. They do have Window and basically Blade online, so they can try to do something. But on the side of the Lightning, they also have that Nano, which when you nano Sunky, apparently Sunky just goes off, as we've seen in the past. Same thing with Shirsty. If you get any of these Sigma players boosted up, they will be getting the kills.
Yes, but I think. Oh, never mind. That Genji's on the other team.
Yeah.
With the Nano. I was like, I think Genji, Nano Blade, right? No Nano Blade. Barbecue says no Nano Blade for sure. Not only because there's no Nano, but because Blank is now out of the fight. And Shirsty and Alicat, though, move on to the back line, and they're just going to be shutting them down. Shirsty able to fight Music Woman and BBQ. Now the Landslides going to be pushing, the Lightning sent all the way back to spawn, 30 seconds left on the clock, and the Landslides able to just maintain the positioning with relative ease. Just Shirsty popping off there, as well as Alicath Controller just doing so much damage. Blank, unfortunately, getting taken out, but they still have Blade here for this fight, and that could really just end things for the Landslides who just want to get over onto now their attacking side.
Yeah, and we also see Shirsty looking a little close, even closer to that lift. 94%, probably going to have it for this next fight. On the side of Lightning, they do have Tire, which again, as we talked about in the past, is one of the biggest things. Sunky going to take out Blank, but Control going to take out BBQ before Tire can be used. And now we are going into a fight in overtime. Alicath going to find one, Shirsty going to find another, Shirsty going to find two. This Sigma just exploded this last half, and Alicath going to take out Music Woman. That will be it. Lightning will get no more. They will not find that second checkpoint.
Yeah, and the Landslides looking very good there towards the end after they got pushed off the initial high ground, but once the fight kind of came down to point and as the time just continued to tick down, they were able to get the early picks and just win out the fight so well. No ultimates even needing to really be used from either side there. Unfortunately, they're not going to have many going into that last team fight. It's the nature of the thing, but, you know, last team fight moment.
Yeah, last team fight moment.
Everyone's desperate. It's overtime. Do I have my cue? No. Okay. We're fighting and we're hoping, and it's just a much tougher game there. But, you know, the Lightning, unfortunately, not able to get to checkpoint 2, but the Landslides feeling very good about that shutdown and looking to win out here in map number 3.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to the Landslides. They held on very well. Typically, on Dorado, we see checkpoint 2 kind of blown through. We see a couple of fights there, but for the most part, teams just kind of go through it. It's that first checkpoint, especially on that first choke point, that we see a lot of teams getting tripped up. And then finally, of course, that last checkpoint where spawns are just so close. It's so hard to get that defending team off of them. But the Lightning were in the driver's seat for that first half of the game, and afterwards the Landslides just able to hold on long enough, waste enough time, that by the time that they got to the completion of checkpoint 2, Lightning was just all out of gas. They couldn't finish it off. And now, will the Landslides be able to take that momentum from this last game and push themselves to victory? Or will the Lightnings hold out on this defense and prevent the Landslides from sliding through?
Oh, it's going to be very, very hard as Genji Mains already gets taken down. That Ana's gone, and that payload around the first corner, but now things get tricky as everyone's in the LOS of those high grounds. Triplet able to find Alicath. Music Woman did get taken down, not finding much value out of that Pharah. Still Blank still alive. Control looking to pressure out Barbecue with Monclover. They're able to get it now, contesting the high ground. It's going to be the Zen. Triplet falling down to Blank, and now they're through underneath the bridge and towards that first checkpoint. The Landslides moving very, very quickly.
Yeah, you know, both of these teams, we've seen them move so fast through this first choke point, which in the past, during the Invitational, during the even Rumble last week, we saw that's where a lot of these teams slow down. These teams are full pedal to the metal. They're not slowing down at all. They want to get this first checkpoint as fast as humanly possible, and they get it. Landslide still pushing forward, trying to get this BBQ off of the high ground.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough, a hard high ground to challenge. But Alicath's going to find BBQ as they fall off of it. Now Blank able to take the positioning, but Genji Mains and Triplet are there. Alicath finding another one, though, with the Widow. Sunky able to take out Control, stopping the push. Not going to be able to move really very far without that Baptiste. And the other support is already going to be gone now. Monclover, I mean, And now, actually, Monclover is going to be on the point. We're seeing Shirsi get slapped, unfortunately, with both the Genji and the Ana. There's going to be the nade and a lot of damage, but Shirsi able to get away. Alakath finds the pick on the Genji. Now the fight's on point with Music Woman. Alakath, Blank able to find Music Woman, and man, the landslide continuing the pressure, the defense not setting up for them, like not able to find a proper setup for them. Shirsi was getting taken down early, but that anti-nade had to be used so fast. Now Monclover able to take out Triplet. Could be good, but there the landslides are moving the point forward. Just nobody contesting really on the point.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it looked like Lightning's not ready for that constant push, not ready for just pure drive from the landslides. Shirsi, of course, going to get play of the game. I think this is a triple kill. Again, so much damage out of Shirsi on the Sigma. These bounce shots are incredible. We see the double, and then are we going to see BBQ taken out? Yes, we are. A triple. Oh, that's actually a quad at the end. Holy cow.
Shirsi really having a great night on the Sigma. We saw both Sigma players having a great time with some great plays earlier on, but unfortunately for the Lightning, Shirsi is continuing with that momentum and that feeling, just having a great game so far. And the landslides able to take it in the end, 2-1 here in the group stage over the Lightning. And man, what a back and forth game it was. Every team fight was so back and forth until the very end there, when I think both teams were just pretty confused about what was going on. Someone was moving the payload. No one got on it in time. Everyone's too worried about the high grounds with the team fight. And, you know, unfortunately, that objective just going to be pushed straight through in front of everybody. It's just very unlucky for the Lightning, not able to set up that defense, as I was saying, in time for the push from the landslides, who are just moving so quickly through their attack.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of the Lightning, or if you're a fan of the landslides, do not worry. This is just group stages. This is not the last you will see of both of these teams. In fact, I am sure very soon we will see a rematch of these Titans, and whew, I can feel it. You know, like you said, it was so back and forth. There's a lot to learn from both of these teams. We saw some mistakes. We saw some of these teams taking advantage of those mistakes, some of those mistakes just being out there. These long team fights really ended up being detrimental for both teams and also beneficial in that ultimate department. But at the end of the day, I cannot wait to see these teams go up again, because it, like you said, it was just so close. Any of these teams could have taken it. At the end, Dorado, like we said in the past, Lightning had one out last week, but Landslides just choosing that, they're just showing that if they keep pushing forward, you might be able to catch the opponent off guard.
Yeah, and they did a great job going and claiming that victory here in the group stage. Now I believe we're going to see them here again as they take on the Mammoths here in just a few minutes after we come back from the break.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Welcome back to the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We are broadcasting from the Shenandoah Esports Arena. I am Josh Cunningham, and joining me as before is the Alexander T. Kresek. And we will be getting to the game with the Mammoths here in just a second. But before we do that, we want to give you a quick message from our friends over at Esports Tower. They have been doing a great job setting up not only this Rumble, but other Rumbles like it, and we have a very special message from them for you guys. We want to take a moment to congratulate all the Esports Tower club members who have graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received over $3.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players on this list are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we could not be more proud and excited to see all of the opportunities that these players are getting. Esports Tower doing a great job building this platform out, giving all of these students this opportunity to present their gameplay to not only schools, but also just out to the world in general. Yep. And honestly, it has been an insane event to be a part of, and an insane chain of events to be a part of, both the Summer Invitationals and now the Rumble. It's been a great experience from this side of things. And so if you've been enjoying everything from Esports Tower, you can check them out at esportstower.com. Make sure to go over to esportstower.com and check them out if you're interested in participating in anything like these Rumbles.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just incredible, right? I love esports. You love esports. You probably love esports at home.
And we all love towers.
Yeah, and we all... But what I'm saying is, if you want esports to continue, if you want it to grow, we need more things like Esports Tower. So making sure that you're supporting them, following them on their socials, making sure you're coming out watching these things. That's the best way to start supporting things like that, because not only are these players getting recognition that they need and they deserve, but Esports Tower can just continue to keep doing what it's doing, and that is allowing esports to grow from basically the ground up, moving into collegiate scenes, into professional scenes, things like that.
100%. And man, they've been doing a great job so far building out competitions like this. And let's talk about this competition once again, as we are getting ready for game number 2 of tonight's group stage, and that is going to be the Landslides taking on the Mammoths as we head into push on New Queen Street. And man, we're back on New Queen Street once again. As I explained last week, it's going to be a bit different to Colosseo, as we saw earlier. Not going to be very brawl-focused. Instead, we will see a lot of brawl comps, I think. Just the nature of push moves very quickly, and having that Lucio with a Reinhardt or a Jungle Queen just makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But really, what it's going to come down to is who controls all the various high grounds. On Colosseo, there's really only the one, and once you push past it, you only have to contest with spawn timers, really, to get through to the final checkpoint. But here on New Queen Street, it's not only the spawn timers you have to worry about, but also there's just so many more high grounds. It's a much more intricate map. It's not as straightforward, I feel. It's a lot more twisty-turvy, curvy-wurvy. And I am really excited to see the Landslides and the Mammoths debut here on New Queen Street.
Yeah, absolutely. And, use your words, all those twisty, curvy, turny-worny kind of situations in New Queen Street. We saw last week with the Landslides playing on this map against the Hurricanes, we saw Alakath taking advantage of those multiple high grounds, the intricacy of the map, all of those little hiding spots in order to flank as that Cassidy, being the thorn in the side of the Hurricanes, but also more than just a thorn, also getting kill after kill after kill, because if you're kind of stuck in a rock between a hard place here, if you turn to focus on Alakath, you get taken out by the rest of the team, but if you try to ignore Alakath and focus on the rest of the team, Alakath hits those shots, and with the Cassidy, they can do so much damage. So I'm not sure if the Mammoths are ready for that sort of aggression, that sort of strategy that the Landslides implement on this map.
Yeah, we will have to see what happens. Alakath definitely going to be looking for those flanks as the robot moves through. Push game mode just going to be very, very active and mobile. But I'm really excited to get into game number 1 of the Landslides, who just came off a fresh victory against the Lightning, now taking on the Mammoths as they debut here for the Esports Tower Rumble tonight here in this group stage, and we're going to have Avian from the from the Summer Invitational for the Mammoths, as well as Shirsty back over to Landslides, and Blank was also from the Invitational. So a lot of players here on these squads that have a lot of competitive experience, recent experience on Overwatch 2, and I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table for these teams. We're going to see Shirsty bouncing back and forth now, switching over to the Junker Queen, as well as Moist from the Mammoths going to be on that Junker Queen as well. So I think this is one of the first times we're actually seeing a Junker Queen mirror. Normally we see at least one Reinhardt on this map. That Earth Shatter just going to have so much value, as well as now 2 Fire Strikes just going to be able to harass the backline with that tank so much. But now Junker Queen going to be very, very strong here in Overwatch 2, and going to be a very, very tough pick to deal with. But since it's the mirror, I guess it doesn't matter that much.
I mean, it is very strong for both teams, so it'll really just depend on who has the better Junker Queen, who can make the most impact for their team. Shirsty already taking a bit of damage, but oh my gosh, a very, very bold move from Dark Q. But oh my gosh, we see the Mammoths going down fast. Moist's going to pick up Blank, going to pick up Moist, Shirsty picking up Avian, and Control going to pick up C². Wow, actually, we just see the trades coming out here. We see the Moira for
everyone's
the Moira.
finding their clones.
Yeah, their counterparts, exactly.
Only one going to be missing are those DPS, who are both playing completely different characters. Avian and Dark going to be having a lot of mobility with both the Genji and the Sojourn, whereas Blank and Alakath are much more set-up-based, much more harassment-based. Alakath going to have to do a lot of damage early on, as well as stay in a very good position, not going to have a lot of mobility, but really be able to control some space. Not going to matter, though, as C² and the rest of the Mammoths push back onto the objective, taking out both Shirsty and Blank, putting the Mammoths in a good spot for not only this team fight, but the next one. We're going to see Control wrapping around the backside, trying to get some value for their ultimate, but going to be taking a lot of damage and actually charging up the other teams just a little bit. Now having to run around for med packs to stay alive, as the rest of the Landslides come back from spawn to re-challenge the objective.
Yeah, and wow, Control again making so much use of the space, so much of that mobility that Lucio has in all of these tight corners. We're going to see Blank getting 1 kill, Shirsty following up with another. The Landslide striking back hard and fast. Shirsty picking up again another one. Moist is going to find Control, but it might be too little too late, as Blank again picks up another kill. Mammoth's just going to have to retreat. They don't have enough players on point to contest. And then it's back to the drawing board for the Mammoths. They have to figure out how to take this point away from the Landslides, who are just going to keep pushing this more and more. Blank getting that mobility with the Junkrat, trying to see if they can find anything through that building. And now we might see a flank here.
The flank with the tire is going to be very dangerous, especially from Blank. Blank with the flank with the tire. Coming in now behind the Mammoth squad as they're focused forward. And there's going to be 3 in the back line, taking out both the DPS and that Lucio. A lot of players now gone from the Mammoths. Blank really opening that up. Monclover in control there with the rest of the team to clean up, to find that first point in favor of the Landslides. The Landslides moving forward once again, only needing to contest a little bit more space here to win the first map, and they're going to have that Rampage ready on the Junker Queen with the anti-heal. But a lot of ultimates coming on for both teams here. We have beat on both sides. Coalescence popping from Daydream already, going to be going out to try and help out the Mammoths as fast as they can. Moist coming very low, going to use their ultimate as well. That Rampage gone for the Mammoths, and the Landslides using everything now. Beat coming down. Shirsty able to take out Moist. Shirsty able to take out Dark. Daydream was able to find Alakath, but Shirsty still finding more. Alakath eventually getting Daydream using the Bob, and the Landslides winning yet once again. Another team fight. Beat and Blade still to the Mammoths, though. Could turn things around. Coalescence, only thing to defend.
Yeah, I mean, that Coalescence is so strong, especially in the hands of Monclover. You just have to be careful. And an interesting note here is that Moist does switch off the Junker Queen to that Reinhardt, a character that we are more familiar seeing here. Avian is going to pop that Blade and get 2 kills, make that 3 kills at this point. But Alakath doing so much damage on the Ashe.
Able to find that headshot on a Daydream. A nice one it was, but Dark's ready with the overclock for the next fight. C Squared managed to hold on to that beat throughout the fight. Didn't even need it. Blade was enough from Avian, who's now getting healed up. Mammoths looking to make their first real big push on the other side towards the Landslides spawn.
And the Landslides just gotta look out for their backline, but Blank, oh my gosh, he's gotta find 4-3 with the tire, and then one extra. Alicat taking out the rest of Mammoths. It looked like Mammoths had that opportunity. They were pushing into Landslides, but a calculated move from the Landslides, just a tactical retreat, pulling the Mammoths in closer and closer until they had Blank again from behind with that tire, getting another 3-piece.
Yeah, I mean, the Landslides doing a great job to shut down the push from the Mammoths very early. C Squared still having that beat. It's going to have to come down here soon, though. Reinhardt and Sojourn coming very low. Shursty able to find a beat, still not coming out for the Mammoths, and really holding on to that ultimate, I think, is losing them so many team fights. They just need to use it and stay alive for a little bit longer, but man, the Landslides doing a great job just shutting these pushes down faster than they can really even start.
Yeah, it's something that the Landslides have also been doing a great job is separating the teams so that the supports lose line of sights for their tank line or vice versa. The teams are just so separated. The Mammoths, unfortunately, not really able to stay together as a team as much as they'd like to due to this positioning and the mobility that the Landslides bring to the table. We're going to see Beat come down on the side of Mammoths, but is it enough, especially when you have characters like Blank who are just dealing out damage after damage. Monclover picking up another kill as well. We are going to see this Genji fall in a minute. We are going to see Rampage come out from Shursty, and that is just kills going in the way of the Landslides. Mammoths just stacking up on this point, trying to prevent it from finishing, but I think that will be it.
Yeah, the Landslides winning out map number 1, putting them 1-0 in the series so far. Oh my gosh, a very, very great way to open things up. We saw some insane plays, including this one right here from Blank with the tire. I wonder what triple it's going to be. It's going to be the first triple from behind with Blank with the flank. And man, finding those 3 really opened this up for the Landslides to get this victory. So much space was able to be taken from that push. They could have had, they did have the same ultimate later on, but it's to recontest and retake back the checkpoint from the Mammoths. So, you know, I mean, just a really great way to open things up there. The Landslides looking a little bit weird at first, but then eventually just finding so many good plays and continuing that momentum from the last series into this one. Oh. And man, the Mammoths are going to have to really figure something out to come back into this game. And I really think it could come down to that ult usage. We saw Control by the time the C Squared was able to use the ultimate beat for the Mammoths. Yep. We were just not there.
There was no one left.
There was nothing left really, which is just so unfortunate because we actually saw Control already build to almost a second beat. If they just beat it at the same time in an earlier fight, we could have seen the Mammoths have almost a completely different game. I'm not a fortune teller, but it could have been a very big difference maker. Just using that beat earlier in a different team fight could have put the Mammoths in a much better position, not only because then they would have beat again, but you know, they would have used it, gotten value out of it, gotten another one, and stayed on track with the other Lucio. Just kept using the beat for the side of the Landslides line and push in over and over and over and over again. But man, that is enough talking about map number 1. We're getting ready for map number 2. But before that, we have a quick little socials plug for you guys. And that's going to be for our friends over at Esports Tower. At Esports Tower on both Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere at
Basically
Esports Tower and esportstower.com. Don't forget, again, those scholarship opportunities have been coming in for Esports Tower. So make sure if you want to get yourself on the platform, check out esportstower.com. But if you're interested at all in Shenandoah Esports, you can check us out at ShenU Esports. And that's going to be on the Instagram, the TikTok, and the Twitter, as well as at Shenandoah Esports for both the twitch.tv right here, and YouTube for youtube.com/Shenandoah Esports. So, you know, really great friends over at Esports Tower and just great people working on these competitions. And man, I cannot be more excited than to be here ready to get into map number 2.
Yeah, exactly. And as we were talking about before, make sure to just support Esports Tower so with that we can get more scholarship opportunities and more fantastic games like we just saw. We want more Overwatch Rumbles. We want more Summer Invitationals. We just want more in general. So make sure to check them out and support them. All right, here we go. Map number 2. What will it be? It's going to be Midtown. Again, this is the same map that we saw last week that the Landslides, I don't want to say destroyed, but they handily took against the Hurricanes. Again, the Landslides just looking like such a strong team, especially if they get these maps that they're so comfortable on. I mean, New Queen Street, again, a map that we saw last week out of the Landslides. They didn't implement the same exact strategy because we didn't see Alakath on that side as much, but we did see Blank on the side. A very similar strategy that they were implementing, but again, a map that they are obviously very comfortable on is New Queen Street. And I think Midtown, we're probably going to see just about the same thing because they are comfortable on these maps, and the last time that we saw them here, they were playing lights out.
Yeah, 100%. It was lights out for the Hurricanes after that game. Just such an insane performance coming in from the Landslides, both tonight and last week. So I'm really excited to continue that performance on Midtown. And man, the Mammoths going to have to really figure out their ult timings here on this. And that's also what we ran into with the Hurricanes on this map, I believe. Last week was coming down to the ultimates against the Landslides. These teams just really need to be more confident in using them and just more kind of loose about it, just kind of more relaxed and just like not so focused on timing it perfectly, but timing it good enough to where you get some value for your team. You might win the team fight, or you might get a couple frags, allow someone else to build an ultimate that'll win you a team fight in the next fight. So, just use these ultimates a bit more often, and that could be said for both teams, really. The Landslides have been doing a great job so far, but we do see them sometimes just kind of hold on for a couple of fights, just keeping ultimates, not really using them and building them up again.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly the biggest mistake that we keep seeing out of these teams, and especially on this map last week, we saw the Hurricanes. They had 4 ultimates, but they just kept waiting for that 5th ultimate, which never came, and in the meantime, the Landslides were just picking off more and more of the Hurricanes. So will we see that sort of similar gameplay? Will we see the Mammoths trying to hold on to their ultimates like the Hurricanes did, or will they be able to overcome that and start building ultimates, using them effectively before the Landslides can fight back?
Damage boost going to be going on to that Junkrat from Control. Going to be really good for the Landslides, but I'm not quite sure about the Mercy pick, to be honest. There's not as many high grounds on this map outside of this bus here. It's more close to like Colossio's design, I feel, where there is the high ground, but once you're past it, you're kind of past it towards the point, wherever that point may be. Once we get here further on to Escort, that might be a little bit different, but so far, I'm not seeing this comp work out that well for the defense, but the Mammoths doing a great job pushing towards onto the point, just doing so much. Moist finding so many frags with the Sigma Control, able to finally shut them down, but already 1 tick over to the Mammoths, a bit slower than the game we saw last year on the hybrid, but man, I mean, 1 tick already is not something you want to look at if you're the Landslides. Going to be resetting up on the high ground, but the Mammoths ready for another push here. And Moist and Shursty going to be looking to use those lifts and trade them back and forth. Shursty having a bit more ult charge, though. Blank ready with that tire almost.
Blank almost has that tire, and you know it is going to be deadly when that thing comes out. Something important to note here is Daydream is just about there at Transcendence as well, so Blank might want to use the ultimate faster, sooner rather than later, before Transcendence is fully ready.
Yeah, and here the tire's going to be able to take out Avian as well as Control, finding Daydream. The support DPS gone from the Mammoths. That is an entire push, almost 30 seconds maybe off the clock as Moist gets a bit staggered. So does C-Squared and Soup. And now this team is completely offset from spawn, and the Mammoths are not in a good position. They're going to want to make sure that they don't continue the stagger.
Yeah, the good thing, though, is for this next push, they will have a couple of ultimates like Transcendence, like Lift, and Nano is right around the corner. Same with the Blade. Avian going to pick up Monclover. That is great for opening up this point. Again, they have a minute 30, so they do have time to work with. Lift coming out from Shursty. Going to find 1, going to find 2, maybe a 3rd as well.
Control there to able to take out Soup, but there's the third for Shursty onto C squared, and the Mammoths being completely forced back already. Even though the Landslides lost Monclover's Baptiste very early, the big lift from Shursty able to take Avian out. Just a lot of damage onto Avian in general from the Landslides very, very fast. And man, it's going to be hard for the Mammoths to come back into this. Now, they've 1 minute to get 2 more ticks here. 1 tick not going to be enough, I don't think, to take down the Landslides, who are just such a good team right now. But the lift comes down from Moist, gets the rock off. It's going to be Shursty. Alcath able to shut down Soup. Now Daydream pushing on to the point is going to be Blank, actually taking out both Moist and Avian. Daydream getting shut down by Control, and the Landslides having an iron grip on this point here, not letting any more ticks go over to the Mammoths. Mammoths stacking up ultimates, ready for the next fight. Nano Blade on the way.
Yeah, it's almost like an iron mitten at this point because they're not letting anything through.
Not even through the cracks of the fingers.
Not even through the cracks of the fingers. But the Mammoths do have 3 ultimates to their names. They have the Nano, they have the Blade, they have the Overclock. These are things that they can make do with if they can get just 1 pick, 1 momentum. And here we go. It's starting up. We're going to see the 3.
1 pick. You wanted 1. Avian just got 4 with the Nano Blade, and there's the 5th on the Alakath. Now just has to take out the Bob. They are unfortunately pushed into overtime, but there's not going to be the recontest from the Landslides. The Mammoths will be able to take control of the point. Avian absolutely popping off with the Nano Blade.
And that is exactly what they needed to get back into this game. Actually, not even get back into this game, stay in this game at this point. They have 2 minutes, 20 seconds to make more things happen. And now they're catching these players off guard. Alakath just out of position completely. Avian taking advantage of that with the Genji mobility, hunting down these players.
Yeah, I mean, already back up to 25% on that ultimate. Soup ready with the overclock, though, for the Mammoths. A lot going over to the side of the Landslide, so they have that tire ready once again. Shursty almost with the lift. Control going to have beat, and that's going to be, I think, the big one for the Landslides here. Blank able to take out Moist early from the team fight. Shursty and Alakath teaming up the other 2 players, cleaning up the other 2 players, and now the Mammoths being forced back. C-squared falling to Alakath. There's going to be the Zen on Avian. Avian looks to be getting away for the time being, though.
Oh, just barely.
Moist also able to find the pick onto Control. Could be good for the Mammoths. That beat now out of the fight if they're able to get on towards that point. But this high ground is going to be so far away. It's going to be really hard to contest, especially if just the big wall in the way for these players that have to move over. But Soup's going to find a nice headshot onto Alakath. Now popping the overclock, looking to just contest the stairs face first. Now jumping around behind, looking to take out Monclover. Monclover popping down the eye field, going to keep themselves alive as well as the rest of the team. The Landslides using the lift, not going to be able to find the pick. Actually going to be able to find C-squared now. Soup and Daydream falling as well. Blank and Shursty just down here in the brawl. Control actually finding the double kill, though, on the Lucio, and man, another team kill going to the Landslides.
Yeah, sometimes you don't actually need to find the pick with the ultimate. You can just use that space that the ultimate creates in order to funnel players where you want them to go. Landslide's doing a great job of following their tank and realizing even if they don't get that lift, they are still able to capitalize on the space that it makes and the positioning that it forces the Mammoths into. And now, speaking of the Mammoths, they have 20 seconds to do something. A window comes out from the Baptiste, and they are just going to be raining damage down. Daydream, was that a Transcendence as well?
I don't know if the Transcendence was. Pop Moist going to use the lift, though, to contest the high ground, and this is the Mammoths making the push, but Airfield's going to go down. Avian was able to take it down, but Blank and Control finding both the supports of the Mammoths. Shursty able to take out Soup. Now it's all going to be the Sigma on point. Moist going to be falling in that junk tire. Avian also going to get taken down to Monclover. Junk tire not even going to be needed. Unfortunately for the Mammoths, they're not going to really be able to get much farther past that first checkpoint. That high ground just so hard to contest here in this competition. We saw the Hurricanes stall on the exact same part of the map. Yep. So I wonder if it's the map thing or if it's just really coming down to how much pressure the Landslides are able to put from the high ground.
I think a lot of these teams, we've seen them struggle with breaking these high grounds, especially in a high ground like this where you need to push your opponents off of this high ground in order to keep playing through this map. So the Landslides do a great job of locking down this high ground, making it very difficult for anyone to get by, and then teams like the Mammoths and the Hurricanes just struggle with breaking this hill.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard hill to break indeed. The bus going to be a little bit easier for checkpoint 1, but man, once you're at that Grand Central Station, it's just so hard to push through to the rest of the map.
So I don't want to do this to you, but I think this is a train, not a bus, like a subway car.
You're absolutely right. That is not a bus. Buses are not that tall. No, that is 100% a rail car. So yeah, that rail car is going to be really hard to contest. We're going to see Avian just dancing around on top of it. And yeah, I mean, it's just going to be so hard to hold for the defense, I think, because if you're the attacker side and you are able to get one pick on, or you have a Junkrat, I mean, like, if you have a Junkrat, it's a hallway.
Yes.
Like, it's a hallway.
It is a hallway,
you know?
if you have a Junkrat.
So there's not much playable space outside of that, except for right on the top of the stairs there, and there's just not a whole lot of cover after they swing past the taxis. So, I mean, there's just no real good defensible high ground here, unless you're kind of holding this back one where we see Soup sitting right now. That you do need someone to contest in the bus, but, man, it's so hard to defend this first point.
Yeah, and Soup trying to get something happening here. I didn't realize you could shoot through those tiny windows, but Soup going to find one. Alakath going to find one as well, trading a DPS for a support. Who will come on top? I think the Mammoths sitting pretty right now, but Soup dropping down to 1 HP, just barely walking away with that.
Ooh, not going to be walking away much longer, though. Shursty there with the Zenyatta able to pump out enough damage to take him out. And now the Landslides are on the point, but Moist finds Blank. This could be good for the Landslides. It's contested on the point. Daydream moving back on now. Avian finds control. That's support gone from the Landslides. Their attack looking ever so weaker, especially now that Shirsty's gone, and the Mammoths are actually going to be able to hold on here. I think the flank doing just enough damage from behind, and now Moist able to take out an Alakath. The Mammoths hold on for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah, and a good job by the Mammoths to separate their tank from the rest of the team. Shirsty there trying to take that tank v tank fight, but again, when there's no cover, no backup, nothing there, Shirsty can only do so much. Daydream also been doing a great job of making sure that they're out of line of sight, but just within line of sight of their team, so that they can throw out Discord orbs, throw out these healing orbs, and then just throw out damage as well. Speaking of Daydream, though, has got to be careful as Landslides are pushing from a different angle, an angle that we haven't really seen a lot. Alakath going to find the first pick here onto C squared. We're also going to see Lift come out as well. And, man, Shirsty picking up one, Alakath picking up one. Shirsty going to find another. Avian going to find Alakath in the back, and now Blank taking this flank onto Avian, who is going to heal up a little bit. But it might be too little too late as Control is there to find that pick. Landslides now have control of the point. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now they get 4 minutes. Plenty of time for them to regroup and start working on this hill, which has notoriously been very difficult to break.
I'm really concerned, though. They don't even have to push that far underneath of it to win the game, only a very small amount. So they don't really have to take the high ground, just put enough pressure where the Mammoths cannot contest the point for a little bit once it's around the corner, and they're going to be able to win the game. They have plenty of time to do it, but Control are going to be losing that Transcendence very fast from the fight after getting picked really early by the Mammoths. Monclover ready with the window. Avian, though, looking for the blade in the back, getting behind Alakath. Going to be... Oh! It's tight, able to turn and get it off. It's a very difficult tracking there. Alakath just moving around Avian. Avian able to get the pick in the end, but Control with the peel now also going to have the Transcendence. Landslides coming up on a lot more ultimates, ready to push towards this high ground. They have 3. Are they going to wait for the overclock, or are they just going to go forward? Here comes the window to try and get out some early poke damage to see if they're able to get any picks. And there's going to be the one on the Daydream. This could open things up for the Landslides. They still have their Transcendence. Not going to be for long, though, because Moist shuts that down. Avian jumping back in now with the blade, able to find 3. There's the 4th, and Soup took down Shirsty. It's a team kill onto the Landslides. The point I mean, the payload ever so close to that point, but the Mammoths able to hold on just a bit longer, and they have the Transcendence. Both teams have Transcendence for this next fight. Blank has the overclock, but Shursty coming up on the lift. Bob might be enough for the Mammoths to contest the point for a little bit longer, but the Landslides are already back in the fight.
Yeah, Avian going to get caught out immediately. Alakath finding Soup, and now we see Transcendence popped on the side of both teams. Daydream and Control going to be popping that. We also see Lift coming out as well. Avian trying to stay alive, but there's so many players all around, and Shursty going to find Daydream. We see Alakath in the back just sniping, going to find it on the Moist. There is no one left except, is Avian down there?
I'm not sure. It's the Bob on the point with Soup as well. Avian is still jumping around. C-Squared was finally able to pressure Shursty off of the point by taking their HP down, but Avian still looking for frags. Control with the break, finally able to shut them down, still on the point, and that break's going to do it. Brig just able to maintain the space enough for the Landslides to get the win. But man, 2-0 for the Landslides after winning 2-1 in the first series. They're feeling really good tonight. And here's Avian, though, with the play of the game. It's definitely going to be one of those Blades, an insane Genji player.
Yeah, I mean, when you get the Nano, when you get the Blade, you put them together, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It was meant to be. Avian just getting these kills, and you cannot escape. Blade or not, Avian will hunt you down and find those kills.
Yeah, I mean, Avian, an absolute predator for the DPS of the Mammoths. I mean, just able to find a target and hunt them down, able to stay alive on the point for so long as well at the end. We saw them be, I think, one of the first ones to contest it for the Mammoths, and also, I believe, the last one to contest. So just an insane amount of sustainability for Avian with the mobility of Genji. I mean, just... yeah, crazy game number 2.
And here I thought the Mammoths were herbivores, but Avian are really a predator out here for sure. Unfortunately, though, Mammoths losing.
I mean, if you were a Mammoth and you had that cool of a Genji sword, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to convert. Yeah.
I might become a predator too, hunt some support. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, Mammoths falling to the Landslides, who have been looking immaculate. 2-0. It looks like I think they're going to play an extra game for us, though.
Yeah, we are going to have a friendly match between both the Landslides and the Mammoths. If you guys want to stick around for that, I highly recommend you do, because we have more Overwatch 2 right around the corner as we head to Escort for Circuit Royale, map number 3. Just a friendly here. The Landslides did win out this series, but man, the Mammoths, we just want to see more of them.
Yeah, we do. I want to see more of Avian specifically.
Definitely. I want another Genji Blade.
Yeah, I want another Genji Blade. I want to see what they could do. Circuit Royale, definitely the map to do that. Again, these high points, these kind of weird angles that Avian really likes to take advantage of. The kind of sneaky Genji play that can really pull out those immaculate blades that you can get. Yeah,
immaculate is the best word. I do not think you could have described that in any way better than immaculate. Man, I'm really excited to head on to Casino Royale for hopefully more immaculate blades. Just so clean. It's going to be Avian for the Mammoths. Mammoths now on blue. Landslides on red. Let's see what they come out on. Circuit Royale going to be really, really fun. Have you seen the Symmetra TP over the roof?
I have not. No, not yet.
So you can Symmetra TP over the initial roof directly onto the high ground and just like fall down onto the other team's head.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't think we're going to see it here, though. It looks like... Oh, we might actually. I spoke too soon. I was about to say, it looks like none of the teams are posturing with the Symmetra, but Blank is here. Alakath back on that Widowmaker. And Shursty this time on a character that we have not seen a lot of indeed.
Oh, Circuit Royale, not Casino Royale. My bad. Daniel Craig's in my head.
Yeah,
right
it's like, he was thinking about Predators. He was thinking about kills. He was just thinking about James Bond.
Yeah, just James Bond. My bad. Yeah, Circuit Royale. But yeah, that TP is still going to be on this map, not in James Bond. And we're going to see Soup looking for the early pick on Alakath. Unfortunately, just going to be right below the head, getting the body shot. But Alakath feeling that wound, getting pressured off the angle slightly here. But now the Mammoths are just going to get absolutely pushed off the height by the Zarya. Shirsty storming forward. Blank did get taken down by Moist, but Control able to find Avion's DPS gone from both teams now. And man, Soup able to get out of that insanely quick push just in time. Ooh, and the shot onto Alakath could turn things around. That DPS just completely gone from the back. And Shirsty able to take out C-Squared, but enough damage coming out from both Moist and Soup to turn that fight around on the other tank. And now control of the map going, of the corner going back over to the Mammoths. Have the opportunity to recontest the height here, but they're just pushing the Landslides off point first.
Yeah, and the fun thing about these friendlies is you can pull out characters that you don't normally play or that characters you don't normally get to see, try out compositions, try out positioning. I mean, I don't think I've seen a Zarya in Overwatch 2. It's just very uncommon at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, going to be able to use the bubble on themselves twice is going to be a massive change from Overwatch 1, but obviously they function so well because typically Zarya is able to make some insane flanking plays really tight around their main tank, but obviously there's no main tank, it's just Zarya, so everyone's just looking at Zarya the whole time. Yeah. So it's much harder to get onto the backline and do damage. The role is just completely different when you're on the character, so kind of a hard nerf, but also just removing the other tank from the game. But, I mean, Zarya still looking very, very strong, especially once they're able to get to the charge that Shirsty is at, charging those bubbles up, getting so much damage out, able to find both the tank as well as Alakath finding Avian Control, getting onto Soup, Blank finding Daydream, and now the Landslides continue to push forward. They have Grav, they have Beat, and man, the Mammoths only going to have that Nano Blade, but we've seen them do amazing things with it in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be so scared of Avian and C-Squared with that Nano Blade. Avian can come out of nowhere. Soup been doing a great job on the Widow. Will also have that infrared sight available. Ooh, doesn't need it to take out Blank, though. Landslide's still pressing forward, but they have to be careful now that Blank is down. They almost have a blade of their own. And wow, I didn't realize Landslide's sitting on practically 5 ultimates here. Moist switching off that Sigma to the Roadhog. Again, Roadhog, we're seeing more and more of this character. I love it.
Second time tonight.
Yeah, second time tonight, exactly. I love seeing the Roadhog. Got the sustain, got the displacement with the hook, and now we're going to see a solo grab onto the Roadhog.
The solo grab going to be interesting. There's going to be the blade, though, onto the back line of the Landslide. It's going to completely distract them from that. The Beat and the Coalescence also being used. But somehow the Landslides come out on top. Enough of the ultimates distracted the other team where the defensive ultimates just kept them alive. And now Blank able to just pop off, finding so many frags. Moist eventually taking them out of the fight. But Alakath putting Moist down as well. Soup there with the response, but man, it's just been so back and forth. The Landslide still controlling the payload. Shirsty coming back from spawn now. Control harassing the other team in the front line. And looking
you have to
for
be
the
so careful.
Have to be so careful on that corner. The rest of Mammoths come around towards the point. Transcendent's getting popped very early, and actually a couple players going to be booped off the high ground. C-Squared and Soup able to find one each. That's Control and Alakath gone from the Landslides. And now the Landslides are going to have to reconsider this push.
Yeah, honestly, it was a great move by Control. Just unfortunately got caught out, wasn't able to make a clean getaway. And Landslide's in an awkward position here. They can't do too much. They're just going to have to back off, wait for the regroup, and wait for everyone to come in. Ultimate-wise, though, these are just ultimate-less fights. Alakath does have infrared, but it doesn't matter if you get your head clicked.
Yeah, absolutely does not matter. Monclover actually going to be behind the Reinhardt, just popping the damage off, but Ryan continuing towards the point as Shirsty stays on it, and we're seeing the Landslide just continue to move this towards the final objective. The Mammoths just not able to contest it. Too worried about the high ground so far, but it could be the play. Only one player on that payload if they're able to win the team fight and move fast enough. But Monclover is going to take out Moist. Daydream going to fall as well. And now all the Landslides are moving towards this payload. It's coming down to the last objective. And the Mammoths coming back from spawn. It's going to be a very close game.
Will the Mammoths be able to touch fast enough? There is a Tracer here, so they will be able to stop it. But it is so close, a meter away, a meter and a half away. Reinhardt is here. Moist will stop this push, but the rest of the Landslides are here. Shatter going to come out. Monclover going to get taken down. Alakath going to find Soup. Shirtsy going to find Moist. And they are just trying to finish off the last of these players. Avian trying to stay on point so that they do not lose. Less than a meter remaining. Again, the contest is still coming out. Again, it's so hard to break this third point because the spawns are right there. They need to get a clean team kill in order to win this fight.
Yeah, and the ball going to be able to create so much havoc on point, especially if the supports are able to focus them well enough. But unfortunately, Monclover's going to be able to get the pick, and now Shirsty's back on the payload, half charge, looking to get up to full as soon as they can. But there it is, round one going over to the Landslides. The Mammoths have a chance to attack for themselves, and the Landslides are going to look to lock things down on defense. Man, that was a very, very fast second point, I would say. The third point definitely stalled a little bit. The Mammoths were able to regroup, and especially on that second comeback in, once Ryan was back, they did a great job timing that as a team. The Tracer was contesting first. Unfortunately, though, just not going to be able to get enough damage out. The Landslide's able to sustain on the point.
Yeah, and I think the Mammoths did a great job of holding that high point for that third checkpoint. They were able to stall it out a little bit more. But again, the Landslides just have that mobility, that ability to move around, push players off of the high point, displace them, or do what they did and force a fight up top on the high point while having one player slowly sneak the payload past the high point to a point where it doesn't matter that the Mammoths still have that particular high ground, because at that point they're already pushing their way to the end.
Yeah, I mean, the Mammoths doing a great job to try and contest the high ground, but the Landslides coming out on top in the end. Now things flipping back over, but Shirsty going to be on the Wrecking Ball. So we'll see how that kind of changes the play style. We also have control on the Brigitte. So I'm really interested to see how this game goes. Blank finding a Daydream very early.
Instantaneously. Oh my goodness. Blank hitting that headshot right as soon as doors open practically. Blank finding another shot as well. We're used to seeing them on the Junkrat, but apparently they got Hanzo as well.
Yeah, I mean, Blank going to be on these snipers on a few of these maps. I think the Landslide's pulling him out for these insanely long angles. We saw Alakath and Soup have these sniper duels in the last round. Now Alakath is still going to be on that sniper, but actually we see the strategy come out from the TP Symmetra. They're going to jump off of the high ground. The pin coming out onto the brig. Moist is going to be able to have something happen, but Blank is shutting down the entire push with Shirsty. C-squared finally able to take him down, but man, Shirsty finds the last two, and the Mammoths go back to spawn after the insanely fast play off the roof. Unfortunately, though, the target focus was just better from the Landslides. They were able to wipe through the team much more efficiently, in that ball just having so much mobility. Daydream getting picked out once again by Shirsty, and if you're that Baptiste, you're not having a good time right now, unable to get set up to help the Mammoths.
Yeah, and Shirsty really has that versatility of the players, like we were saying, could play practically deep. We've seen them in the DPS role, we've seen them in a support role, and now in the tank role. Every tank that they play, they're able to just do so much damage, do so much work with, and the Wrecking Ball is no different. Able to displace, move the team around, and to create openings for the rest of the team to just deal that damage and get those picks.
And those picks are going to be all important. Just so much time off the clock because Daydream has to walk back to spawn. And once again, they're going to find the Baptiste early in the fight. It's so unfortunate for the Mammoth. Such an important character to keep alive, but they just keep getting caught out. Moist going to fall to control once again. And the Landslides just having such a strong hold there in the forward choke.
Yeah, and with Daydream constantly getting knocked down, Mammoths are losing out on so much heals. They're losing out on massive heals, as well as losing out on that immortality field to help them make these fights last longer. But Blank, Alakath going to find more kills of their own. More than half the team of the Mammoths are down, so they're going to have to regroup and try again.
Oh my gosh, but Blank is not going to let that happen as they continue to just find the frags. Avian able to take out control, but now we're seeing Alakath push to this forward position, starting to, want the early peaks, taking out C-squared, and also popping that ultimate, just going to be able to see everyone through the wall now. Moist finding Blank. Landslides could get pushed back off of this a little bit. We'll see what Shirsty does now that they're swinging around on the point. But we have Monclover ready with the Transcendence if anything goes wrong, but not anymore. Avian takes him out. There's the trade onto Super from Alakath. But will it be enough for the Landslides as the Mammoths start to find some momentum and some space on the map?
Nowhere is safe from Alakath right now in this Widowmaker. He is completely in his bag, just getting kill after kill after kill, getting these weird off angles, but still able to take these fights. Not able to get that final shot onto Avian, who, for the most part, has been doing a fantastic job on this Widowmaker as the Mammoths have finally gotten a little bit of momentum under them. They're able to push and getting closer and closer to this first checkpoint as time ticks down. 15 seconds remaining. Shirsty coming out of nowhere. Alakath going to find two in very quick succession.
See, I really like Alakath because they understand their purpose. I sit in the back and I click on the heads, and my team wins the game. As the Landslides continue to push back in, 1 second left. Now we're in overtime. The Mammoths are not able to get onto this for the recontest. Avian was able to get the click on the head in the end, but the Landslides win it in the friendly.
Yeah, GG. Does that count as a 3-0, or is that just a 2-0 plus the friendly? Yeah. Overall, the Landslides looking fantastic. Blank actually going to be the player of the game here on that Genji. Again, got to be a nano blade of sorts, I'm sure. We see one.
And here it is, just actually going to get the dash attacks onto everybody. Just seeing the players not even needing to use the blade until the next fight. Just sometimes it's all you need to find three, especially if you have team coordination like these teams do, and especially if you're the Landslides. And Blank doing a great job, not only for the play of the game, but also going to be our Esports Tower Rumble player of the week with those Genji plays. I mean, we saw Avian having some of their own, but Blank also with the Junkrat specifically, just going to be absolutely crazy. Blank on the flank, as I've said now 3 times this broadcast, but it could not be a truer statement. They're always in the back waiting for that tire whenever they have it, and when in there you see it, they're able to find 3 so consistently here.
Yeah, and again, Blank, very deserved. Definitely the player of the week. We saw so many triple kills. It's too many to choose from, whether it's on that Junkrat, whether it's on the Genji, whatever is needed for the team, Blank is there. Really, as you said, Blank on the flank. In the past, last week, we saw Alakath being that player on the flank, but Blank taking up the mantle and getting massive movement, massive ability out of that, just getting kill after kill after kill, doing what is needed for the team.
100%. I mean, just an absolutely outstanding player, but also the Landslides, an outstanding team as they went a doubleheader tonight against both the Lightning and against the Mammoths. They came out on top in both games, 2-0 in the second one, 2-1 in the first series. Really, really great night, especially if you're the Landslides. The Mammoths definitely have some things to figure out, but overall for a first debut game, they had an excellent performance, and they could perform better, but it's hard when you're up against the Landslides. They just are such a comfortable team. And Avian, unfortunately, coming in from the Summer Invitational, not able to do enough on the DPS role. Yep. Doing so much, though.
Doing so
much, though. But unfortunately, the Landslides able to find a little bit more value and honestly just a little bit more ultimate usage out in the end in the fights. And I think that was for both games as well against the Lightning. Just so a little bit more comfortable. But, man, all of these teams in this competition are looking really good.
Yeah, almost said flawless, but
that's obviously not true. But they're really good.
Yeah, all of these teams are looking fantastic. I cannot wait to see more of these, especially as we leave the group stage to go into bracket play, go into elimination play, because these teams are looking good. Like you said, they're not quite flawless, but I think if they kind of patch up these openings, they are going to look amazing. And as we saw in the Invitational, anything can happen. Even if a team looks like they've been getting rolled over for the group stage, they may come back and surprise you during that elimination play.
Yeah, 100%. Surprises are the name of the game here in the Esports Tower Rumbles. This is an invitational. We had an insane underdog story, so that could happen once again. The Mammoths, showing up tonight, but unfortunately not able to get the victory. Still, though, having some amazing, amazing plays from all of these teams all around. And if you want to see more of those plays, you should definitely stick around after the broadcast, because we're going to kick it over to the top 5 plays here in just a minute. But before that, I am going to do my sign-off dance.